12 away from 9 o'clock. Bill Trojan. That's his real name, Bill Trojan, going to be at the Valley River Inn on Tuesday. Going to be checking out the March of Dimes first ever Signature Chefs event. And we'll be talking about that more on Monday and Tuesday. But come down.
That's a cool name.
Isn't that awesome?
I'm Bill Trojan. Expect him to show up in armor and...
Either that or a human condom. One of the two.
Well, he was going to show up.
No, I mean, I'm just saying there's different ways you could go with that. Hey, Kyle's in the studio. Kyle, welcome to the Wake Up Call.
Bill, I apologize for Rob. This is the first time I've ever had to do that for you. You're always doing it for me.
Apologizing for you?
Yeah. Anyway. Hey.
You know what? It's a new time. New day.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Glad to have you aboard.
This Sunday, Race for the Cure. We're so excited.
Now, for folks that don't know what the Race for the Cure is, because there are so many different races and walks and runs and everything else, what is this?
We are the local affiliate of Susan G. Komen for the Cure, which is breast cancer specific. What a lot of your listeners might not know is Susan G. Komen for the Cure works throughout the state of Oregon to fund mammograms for underinsured, low-income women, 40 and up. And in the past 5 years, here just in Lane County alone, we've funded over $720,000 in programs for screening, survivor support, outreach. One of our best programs locally is through Oregon Imaging Centers. It's a patient navigation program. We do this in a lot of counties and areas throughout the state, but the biggest thing we're known for really is getting women access to screening because we know early detection saves lives. Simple stats. We're a room full of guys here talking about breast cancer, but when breast cancer is detected at its earliest stages, you have a 98% survival rate for 5 years. I don't think most people have a 98% survival. I mean, that's better than the national normal averages.
Yeah.
Conversely, if it's late stage, you're in the 20%. So we know statistically from looking at that, you don't have to be a doctor or a scientist, because I'm not. If you catch breast cancer early, you can survive this disease. So that is really Komen's, our big push. We want to educate the community. We want to give women access to screening. We want to make sure people aren't waiting. They're not taking 2 or 3 years off. We want to make sure a woman, when she turns 40, she's going to the doctor annually for that mammogram. So that's a big part about Race for the Cure. Of course, it's a fundraiser. Of course, it's a walk. It's a run. It's all those things. But it's an awareness raiser as well. And we hope to change some sobering statistics here in Lane County. That's another thing a lot of people wouldn't know. There are 34,000 women in Lane County, 18 to 64, that are uninsured. And of course, if you're uninsured, you're less likely to go in for your screening. So that's a big thing. We're trying to help get women access. Also, another stat that is very scary here in Lane County is the rate of late-stage breast cancer diagnosis is higher than the state average. So we know that people are also catching the disease later here, and as I said before, late stage it can be fatal. So we're hoping to change those stats. We're also hoping to raise money so that we can fund more screenings, and we're also hoping to throw a very celebratory event. There you will see, many women out there in their pink survivor shirts. You will see families walking with mom or sister or grandma or coworker, and it is it's a deeply personal topic for so many people. And it gives people a chance to come out and really celebrate those that are living or hopefully have beat the disease. And then also, unfortunately, some of us that have lost someone to cancer, gives you a chance to honor their memory. So it's a lot of things. It's a celebration. It's a memorial. It's a run. It's a walk. And it's an awareness raiser. Where
does the race, walk, run, where does it start and where does it end?
We are over at Autzen Stadium near Entry 5 on Leo Harris Parkway. So if you've ever parked for a Duck game, and I see the Jonathan Stewart T-shirt and hat over here, go Ducks. I'm a Duck also. We'll be in the festival area, if you will, be right next to the parking lot where you would park for football games. Almost the entire lot is open, so there's free parking. We're going to run you down Leo Harris towards the Science Factory. You're going to go into Alton Baker, do a nice scenic, it's a 5K, go along the bike path. So it's all paved, extremely scenic. Anyone that's been through Alton Baker knows that's one of the most beautiful places in the world in October. And then you'll circle back, so you basically finish where you started. So you're gonna do a loop through Alton Baker, and you're gonna finish right next to the stadium. There's gonna be food, there's gonna be music, samples, goodie bags, you name it. And then we have a special survivor area, so all our breast cancer survivors can take a guest into what we're calling Survivor City. Fred Meyer has a full catered spread in there. There's food for them and a goodie bag. So there's a lot going on. So whether you're a diehard athlete that wants to run a 5K or you're just a weekend warrior that wants to walk, you can come out and enjoy one of the events.
Kyle, you talked about, 3 guys talking about breast cancer. Last weekend during the NFL, you saw teams out there, and sometimes it didn't go together, but they had pink on their uniforms, and it got people talking about it. Hey, what's the pink about? Is today's awareness crossing over enough into those other, demos, those other populations where people are discussing it as much as they should be?
It's improved greatly. It's a great question. The story I share is our founder, Nancy Brinker, started the Race for the Cure in Texas about 30 years ago. The local newspaper would not print the word breast cancer. They called it women's cancer or women's issues or things of that. You fast forward a generation and people roll their eyes or can't believe that. So we've come so far, but awareness and changing behavior are 2 different things. It takes a lot to get people to go to the doctor. There's fear, there's lack of insurance, there's lack of money, there's what will I do if I'm diagnosed? So we've come very, very far. The awareness around all cancers is at an all-time high, but we still need to make sure people have access. We still need to make sure that we're funding programs for screening. And we certainly still need to make sure that women who have insurance are diligent and are going annually, because they aren't all doing it. So we're getting there, but we haven't crossed the goal line, so to speak.
Now, you're doing registration, pre-registration for it today and tomorrow, correct?
Correct.
And you're doing that where?
We're at the Hilton today from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. We're just in the second level directly above the lobby. And you can come down and register in person if you have not done that already. On Saturday, we're there from 11 to 3, and we shorten it because we've got to go get Autzen all pretty and set up and get all the tents out. And if you've missed that, you can, of course, come down on the day of the race beginning at 7 a.m., and you can get signed up there. The only event you cannot sign up for on Sunday is the chip time event, because we have to kind of program that in advance. But it's never too late. You can come down 5 minutes before the walk and jump in and get registered.
Now, is there a cost to register to this thing?
There is a cost. So the adult registration fee, if you come down in person, is $35. We have a student rate of $30, and then children 6 to 12 are $10, and then 5 and under. So my little guy, the shirt kind of is more of a night shirt for him. They're free, but we want mom or dad to sign them up and do the waiver, and they get a free T-shirt as well. So if they're under 5, free.
And you were saying that we could, give away a couple of free registrations?
Absolutely. The only caveat, they have to come down the Hilton and find me, but yes.
Okay, so either today or tomorrow.
Correct.
For the folks that would like the free registration.
Absolutely. Hopefully you get a survivor or a family of someone on the phone. But it's
and since it is a fundraiser, even if you give them a couple of bucks, if you get the free registration,
absolutely.
Let's pump that. We're talking about $700,000. We could use some more.
And that's leading to that. The average cost of a mammogram through the Oregon and Breast and Cervical Cancer Program, which we fund, is $89. So we always like to talk about that. $89 could save someone's
life.
And so it's not a lot of money, but when you add it up across the need throughout the Willamette Valley, it's a staggering amount.
If you don't have a job, $89 is, it might as well be $5,000. If you don't have it, it might as well be.
And that's where Komen comes in. We try to fill those gaps and help people that are in need, aside from raising the awareness and changing behavior in the community.
So a free registration if you would like to be a part of it, and who wouldn't? This weekend, 541-485-5769. We'll take the first caller. You talk about some people don't actually go get the exam. Why I can understand why guys don't get their exam, because they feel kind of uncomfortable about it, and there's kind of a negative stereotype to it, which is ridiculous. Why don't women? Is it just because they can't afford it?
The main issue is fear or access. So if you have health insurance and you're not going, it's fear, the fear of the unknown, the what if. That's not going to happen to me, those things. Access is another big issue across the state of Oregon. We actually have a partnership with American Cancer Society to fund transportation to screening and treatment, because we have so many women in rural parts of the state that it's just the chore of getting to and from treatment is tremendous. I grew up on the coast, and where I grew up, it would have been a 90-mile round trip to get your treatment. So you can see that depending upon where you live, whether or not you have insurance through your job, there's a lot of different factors, but the main one is fear.
Yesterday, I was on the way home and actually passed, and I was wondered when I was passing it whether it had been in Eugene. It was a mobile breast exam, kind of like an RV or a bus or something like that was heading north towards, well, I don't know where it was heading towards, but it was going north anyway out of Eugene. Was that something that was here yesterday, or what was I mean, do you know what that?
I believe it's through the health system in Corvallis. We get that question a lot, is could you just get a mobile mammography van?
Yeah.
The key is it has to be attached to a health system. So if you had a mobile van but you had nowhere to treat the patients, it would be sort of good news, bad news. We've found you have something, but we have no doctor to assign you to. So it's a tricky issue, but sometimes you will find health systems that go out and service the rural areas because they know the patients that they're screening are attached to their hospital.
So ColemanOregon.org if somebody wants to get more attention.
All the information, but registration is cut off online. Then come down to the Hilton today or tomorrow, then come down to Autzen on Sunday. We'll be there.
And 11 to 3 tomorrow.
11 to 3 on Saturday, correct.
All right, very good. Thank you so much for coming down.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Good luck with the event. Let's raise $1 million. Thank you. Let's go do it. Before we leave, we got our last pie to give out. By the way, Sarah LB is our free registrant. She's going to be hooked up for the Race for a Cure happening on Sunday. We've got our last thing this hour, man. Yeah, a ton of stuff to give out.
Did you grab the pie certificate?
Finally, our final pie from Sherry's. If you can tell us one of the schools we talked about in the 7 o'clock hour. All right. First call with the correct answer, 541-485-5769.
And you can enjoy incredible pies and complete 24-hour service for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, including a free slice of pie with dinner on Wednesday nights at Sherry's.
Have a great weekend. We'll check you out bright and early Monday morning right here on KPNW.